for printmaking, we have two sections, Station 1 and Station 2. Each station is then also divided into two separate areas, the inking area and the printing area. The printing area we want to keep clean of any ink, because you don't obviously want fingerprints all over your paper. Okay. There are also two rollers or brayers. The gray one is for inking. The red one is for printing, so we want to keep the red one free of any ink as well. So that's why it is in the printing area and the other is in the inking area. Now, one more thing with the areas, please have a piece of paper ready to go for printing. And for the inking, you'll notice here there's a circle for styrofoam. Remember, originally our projects were circles, so that's why it's that way. And then the square here is where your ink will go. Now, this is water-based ink, so it is extremely fast drying. So you do not want to spread it beyond that square. So in other words, I'm not taking my roller and going way out here with the ink. It's going to dry up and you're not going to be able to use it. Oh, real quick. Who's got a project that's up and down, vertical? Just using it to show a minute. So when you press your print down into the paper, you're going to want to center it left and right. But notice how there's a little extra space here on the bottom. That's so you have room to do your labeling that we just talked about with bell work. Okay? So that's one that's upright. Where's somebody that's sideways or horizontal? You. So again, same thing. Put your print down this way, center it left and right. Leave yourself a little bit of space to do the labeling. So the bottom should have more paper. Well, and does anybody know if they're going to be gone Wednesday or Thursday for a game?
Thursday.
Thursday? Let me see yours. I'll use yours for a demo, okay? So I want it sideways. All right, so I'm putting my styrofoam there. If you need more ink, because as I said, it's going to dry very quickly. Basically, you're only going to get enough ink for 2 prints, and then you'll have to add more. Talk to either myself or Raymond, and we'll get you more ink. So Raymond, notice I got a good glob there, and you just kind of spread it. Well, I'll say the rest of the class isn't. Guys, can you quiet down just a little bit more, please? Thank you. All right, there is paper towel here if you get a bunch of ink on your hands. As you see, I got tons on mine. With the gray roller, you're going to lift it as you roll, and that'll help get all the different parts of the roller without having to spread it beyond the box. Okay? Notice the texture and the sound. It's very sticky and it's very glossy. Very shiny. Okay. That tells you that the ink is good and moist, and you're just going to roll it on your foam. Now, the very first print is going to soak up a lot of this ink.
So you're gonna have to do it a lot.
Yes. Oop. So unfortunately, your very first print, we may need more ink sooner than we anticipate. Unfortunately, we got a deep spot there that's not wanting to get any ink. Okay, we're gonna call that good. Now the first print, again, because the foam sucks up so much of the ink, typically turns out to be lighter. I'm going to move over to the printing area, try to flip it and not touch as much of the paper as possible, and press it down. Press it first with your hands, make sure it sticks to the paper, so I should be able to lift it up. Now again, if the ink dried too quickly, it may not stick, that's fine. Use the red roller and press down on your print. Now before you remove the paper, always check it. Because if I were to lift up on this foam and then I see that there's a spot that didn't get inked, are you going to be able to set it back down in the exact same spot?
No.
More than likely not. So I'm going to just lift up corners at a time, and okay, I've got that spot that I saw as I was trying to ink. And again, right here, I've got a nice spot there that didn't quite ink. So what I'm going to do is flip it back over, and I'm going to press it by hand now and try to get as much of that ink to come up. Because it gives a little bit more force, whereas the roller just kind of does quickly so that the ink doesn't dry. Now, normally you would check again, but I'm just going, to the sake of demonstration, just peel it off. And there is our first print. Now, the first print is usually the original. That's the one that the artist would keep, which is why when we do the labeling, we write AP. So you're going to have your title here, then AP, then your signature. So AP stands for artist proof. Again, it's the original, it's worth the most money. Next, I'm going to just re-roll, re-ink. I'm going to set this one aside and I'm going to reprint. I'm going to do that 4 times. As I set them off to the side, keep them in order so that you can put the additions in order. Now, if I have a print that has addition 1 of 100, and I have another print that is 75 out of 100, which one do you think would be worth more? The 1, because it's closest to the original. I know a lot of people are thinking higher number, 75. No, it's the one that's closest to the original. Now, let's say 2 different prints. You print yours, you print yours. You print 100 times, so it's number 1 out of 100. And you print 1,000 times, so it's 1 out of 1,000. I have both number 1s. Which one's worth more? 1 out of 100. Why?
Because there's fewer of them.
There's fewer of it. It's more rare. It's harder to find that print over your print. Sorry guys, I was just using yours right here. So, when you are doing your additions, the title stays the same for all 4 prints. Your signature stays the same, all 4 prints. The only thing that changes is the addition, whether it's AP, 1 of 3, 2 of 3, or 3 of 3. Okay? Now, as I said, this one we're going to end up re-inking and just reprinting. You'll notice right here the different texture, how it looks a little bit more fuzzy, not as shiny, and kind of almost looks like fabric. Same thing even on the table here. That tells me that we need more ink. Okay, so if you see it going like this, even if it's not your second print or third print, get more ink. Okay. Now it's going to get darker and darker. Like this one was probably the 4th time it was printed. So it'll get nicer each time you print. Any questions over that? Now remember, when you're done printing, take some paper towel, wrap it up, keep this in your folder, do your labeling, and then bring your prints over to the drying rack for me to help you put them up. So only 2 people can print right now, and you're going to be one of them over here, since we've already got yours going. Unfortunately, sorry, you don't get to keep a demo. I haven't let anybody keep them all day. Can you throw that out? So get another piece of paper ready to go. Any questions over the printing? Okay, any questions over labeling?
Are we just to write all of that, or just the things?
No, just these right here. This is just information for you.
Yeah.
So as you're printing, or as you're labeling, if you have any questions and I'm busy, read through this. That's what that's there for. Basically my explanation again, but written down. Okay? Any questions? All right. One other person stay to print. I'll get your ink, and we're good.